Hello, everybody. Let's start with another very interesting topic, that is SQL injection. Yesterday, I gave you a brief. Unfortunately, we started somewhere in between before some examples were remaining about the previous topic. But today, I'll start fresh. Some of you may not be present yesterday, so I'll start fresh with this concept of SQL injection. So, we'll discuss the concept first, and then I'll give you a lot of examples to understand how this particular problem can be taken care of. So let's begin with this particular discussion of SQL injection. Our objective is to understand how this what these SQL injections are, how they can be avoided, and what are the various support mechanisms which are available in SQL or in PLSQL, which packages are available to uh, help mitigate this particular problem. So it's a technique for maliciously exploiting application that use client supply data in SQL statement. Now, when I use the word client supply data means there is some input that will come from the client side, and that input will be used for some kind of processing. So if it is the case, normally when you create some web applications or some client side application, there will be some input that will be accepting from the user. Simplest thing could be like you would like to list the employees from some department and you are accepting the name of the department from the user. So that could be the case. You want to print the details about, we have some procedure or we have some Java function that has been written, and that Java function is supposed to take in the name of the employee, whichever employee's name has been given, his details we would like to print. There are so many cases, or rather so many times we'll have to accept the data from the user. So by using the data that has been supplied by the user, if there are some operations queries that have to be fired, there exists a problem in case if you have not designed that particular query carefully. The purpose of this technique is to gain unauthorized access to database in order to query or manipulate restricted data. So you will be accessing some tables to which you shouldn't have been having an access to, or second, you may be manipulating restricted data. That means you may also go ahead and end up making some changes to the table. That could also happen. Attackers trick the SQL engine into executing unintended commands. That means the commands that the developer did not want to execute, those are also injected in your application and they are executed. So some you have written the Java code or you have written a PLSQL code block, and in which you have created those dynamic SQL statements. Dynamic SQL statements could have been created in PLSQL, and we have done it in JDBC also. We have been doing that dynamic SQL statement. It could be C++, it could be Java, wherever. If you have not constructed those statements carefully, there exists a possibility of this for this attacker to inject some statements into your code which you have not written. And this happens when there is some input that is going to come, and based on that input, if some query is going to be fired. This technique is used for maliciously exploiting applications that use client-supplied data. Oh, sorry, I got the same thing. Yeah. Although SQL injection technique differ, they all exploit single vulnerability. That is, string input is not correctly validated as concatenated and is concatenated into a dynamic SQL statement. This is the biggest mistake. And a Java developer who is lazy or a PLSQL developer who is lazy, he constructs a dynamic SQL statement by using concatenation. The moment you use concatenation, listen to me very carefully. Moment you use concatenation to concat user supplied data and construct a SQL statement that has to be fired, you are inviting trouble. And unknowingly, even when the client developer has faced this problem earlier, even then, while developing the application, he just forgets, "Arey, what I'm doing is I'm exposing myself to a scenario where I face a problem." They just don't realize. They end up doing the same thing again and again. So we as a Java developer, we as a PLSQL developer, we should always ensure that we do not ever write such kind of statements where we build a PLSQL statement or we build a SQL statement where we are using where we are using or where we are constructing a statement to be executed with user supply data, and the statement is constructed by using concatenation operator. That is something that you should get out of your mind. So first thing is, like, wherever possible, don't use dynamic SQL. We learned about dynamic SQL yesterday. Wherever possible, don't use dynamic SQL. And if you have to use dynamic SQL, if the problem demands that you have to use dynamic SQL, use it in a proper way. So when I say use it in a proper way, means use the concept of binding of variables that we had seen yesterday. Okay, so these are small things, but if you take care of it, problems can be very easily handled. So the biggest problem arises when you use string input that is not validated. Not for validation also, there is a package called as dbms assert. I'll not dwell more into it because this course is not about uh, hacking or how to control those attacks. It is just to sensitize you. I'm devoting one session because this topic is important. While you construct the applications in Java or Python or whatever it is, I want you to always have in your mind what kind of opportunity you are giving to the hacker to break into your system. So that is just to uh, make you aware of it so that you do not write the codes in that particular fashion. Okay. So there can be different techniques, but biggest vulnerability is string, that dynamic executing SQL statement that we create by using concatenation operator. There is where biggest risk lies. To immunize your code against SQL injection attack, use bind arguments or validate and sanitize all input concatenated to dynamic SQL. So two things. Use bind variables, don't use concatenation operator. Using clause that we had seen yesterday, use that using clause. Correct. I'm going to execute a statement using this thing. So whatever values that you supply will now be substituted. But for substitution, I have used the placeholder :1, :2. You could give named names also. So those things you should be using. Whatever we have learned, the concept of binding variables yesterday, I told you. Uh, Although I had started with the discussion of PL SQL injection, but once I realized those examples are remaining, we spent time discussing that examples as to how to bind the variables correctly, and we saw some behaviors while you are binding the variables to the statement as well. So that was something very important, and that is something that has to be used even while you are constructing your dynamic SQL statements. Although programs or application may be vulnerable to SQL injection, web applications are at a higher risk because an attacker can penetrate SQL injection attack without any database or application authentication. So in web application, there is a bigger risk because you have those forms, and from through the forms the data comes in, and once the data comes in, you are executing those statements. There lies a bigger risk. Normally in a regular application, when you log into your application, there are a lot of mechanisms through which we can restrict the user from performing some operation. Simple forms which are made public to the user where he submits the data, he presses submit, isn't it? Simple input forms that are being created there, he has a chance to get into your application. Although SQL techniques differ, they all exploit single vulnerability. Why am I repeating these statements? Okay, so there are two SQL injection can be classified into two different types. So what are the two different types in which you can classify the SQL injection attacks? So the two major types in which you can classify the SQL injection attacks are what we touched upon yesterday. One is One is the statement modification, and second is statement injection. So two things: statement modification and statement injection. These are two ways these attacks can be broadly classified. And then there are levels of attack also. I'll talk more about attacks today. So I'll give you a good understanding about what these are, and also some guidelines as to what you should do while you are writing your application. What is a statement modification? It means deliberately altering the dynamic SQL statement so that it runs in a way unintended by the application developer. That means you are changing the statement itself. So user developer, the application developer, Java, PLSQL, whatever the developer may be, who has constructed that dynamic SQL statement, you are deliberately changing the statement. You are changing. Huh? You may be wondering, how is it possible? How can I change the statement? I'll demonstrate how you can change the statement. Even if that procedure has been already loaded in the memory, any user can dynamically change that particular statement. So how? We will see. So you as a uh, attacker, you are changing the statement which is being executed in the background inside the application. That's statement modification. Typically, the user retrieves unauthorized data by changing the where clause in the select statement or by inserting union all clause. I'm going to give you example of both the things. These are the simplest kind of scenarios that I can show you. So where the where clause has been used, where restricts the data, na? So I'll put a condition which satisfies all the data. That's how simple it is. Satisfies all the condition. I can say where 1 is equal to 1. Now, when I say 1 is equal to 1, that condition is always true. So I'll create a construct condition that is always true. Same thing I can do with union as well. That was statement modification. So we are modifying the same statement which is being executed. And second is statement injection. Now here we do something else. Here the user appends one more new statement inside your dynamic SQL statement. So if I'm using concatenation, there the problem arises. He adds one more statement. So your statement that you have written in your application will also get executed. In addition to that, he has supplied one more, attacker has supplied one more statement that will also get executed. Okay. So, and that could have a devastating effect. You could delete the table. You could modify the table. If I have this SQL injection, statement injection that I do. So first was statement modification. So the statement, what you have written executes, but in a modified way. And second is, in addition to what statement you have written, in addition to that, additional statement gets executed. That's statement injection. So two things, statement modification and statement injection. Now we have to identify the types of SQL injection attacks. Okay, so what are the various types that we can identify? Yeah, so identifying the types of SQL injection attack, the first one is first order attack and second is the second order attack. What is the first order attack? The attacker can simply enter malicious string and cause the modified code to be executed immediately. Statement modification, correct? That's the first order attack. The second order attack, attacker injects into a persistent storage such as a table row, which is deemed to be a trusted source. Attacker is subsequently executed by another attack is subsequently executed by another activity. That means he will modify, he will not get the immediate result. He will do some kind of things in your structure where he will may not get to see the result. He may flood your database with 1 lakh rows. So your performance of database will also get hampered later. So the second attacker, he injects into a persistent storage. That means into the table, into the database, he will be injecting something and which your users are assuming that the data is correct, and he has injected some garbage into that data. Say you had only 10 products, he enters another 1,000 products in the database, and then user keeps on placing order for those 1,000 products which you cannot supply. Anything can happen. So attack is subsequently executed by another activity. So when some regular user is trying to carry out an operation, something else starts happening. So that's a very risky kind of effect. I'll give an example of first order attack. SQL injection attacks do not have a return data directly to the user to be useful. So it's not like he attacks and something crashes or he immediately gets a response, oh, attack is successful, nothing of that. There is a concept called a blind attacks also. For example, he creates a database user, but otherwise returns no data. Now, if he has created a user in your database, so tomorrow some other user can use that particular user and have an access to your database. That can be possible. He can grant some permission. If he can create a user, he can grant some permission to that user. So you are now opening a gateway for the attacker to get into your system any point of time. So these are various, he may do something in your database and keep it, and it can be exploited later. Not necessarily that immediately he will get to see the effect of those things attacks. So if you have to access the vulnerability, whatever code that we have written, first check whether in your code you have a dynamic SQL statement. If you do not have dynamic SQL statement, then you're safe. Then don't bother about it at all. So if you're using static SQL, yesterday we started our discussion with static and dynamic SQL. So if you're using static SQL, then don't worry about it at all. Your code is safe. But if your application has a dynamic SQL statement, then make sure that you use bind arguments for all dynamic component. If you're using bind arguments, what we learned yesterday, for all the dynamic components, then you are safe. But if you're using concatenation, then you're unsafe. Then what you should do? You should also use some filters. I may not take examples of filter because that will now extend this discussion further. But keep in mind, there's a concept of filter. You could also construct your filters, which will do away with some vulnerabilities which are there in your concatenation strings, especially the spaces that have been added or literals, the concatenation that we have done. So there are DBMS assert is a very good option which is available. So check it out, whether you have filtered the inputs correctly. If you have filtered the inputs correctly, then you're safe. But if you have not even done if you have not even filtered the inputs correctly, then you are vulnerable for attack. So if you're using dynamic SQL, and if you are not using the bind variables in the dynamic SQL, and you have not filtered the user input correctly, then there is a chance of you being attacked, your application being attacked. And developers at most of the times are so very concerned only about getting the work done. They don't even worry about, or they don't even give consideration to these aspects. They write dynamic SQL, they fulfill the client requirement, not necessarily somebody may exploit that vulnerability. So don't be in a haste while you develop a Java application or a PLSQL application, and just to finish that task quickly, end up constructing dynamic SQL statement by using concatenation operation. Think over, can I avoid this dynamic SQL statement? If you can, good. And if you cannot avoid the dynamic SQL statement, then use bind variables. And even if you're using bind variables, still there are some vulnerabilities which are there. So use filters. See every input that has been supplied by the user is what you intended. Has he added some additional text? Because if I'm expecting you to enter username, then you should you enter only username. Na? You should not enter anything in quoted characters later, isn't it? So here, if I have to concatenate, that quotes are something which is necessary. So I can use filter and check if the user input that he has given, whose name will have single quotes. Your name should not have, should be having quotes, opening quotes and closing quotes, or concatenation operator. That should not be there in the user input. So I'm going to filter the input. So I'm asking you to enter the name, and along with the name, if you have given me some more text, so before I fire the statement, I'll filter it out. If I find there are some quotes and everything that you have supplied as an input in a web form, I'll not even execute the statement. I'll stop execution the statement saying input is invalid. So we should have additional filters. Never take the data given by the user and execute it directly and then check, oh, whether no data found or not. Or he may be doing something more. He may not just be supplying wrong data. He may be supplying something more that will alter the behavior of our dynamic SQL statement as it is. So make sure you filter it correctly. I may not take an example of filter, but keep that thing in mind. Input needs to be validated before it is passed to the dynamic SQL statement. Filter's purpose is to validate the input before it is passed to the dynamic SQL statement, or before it is used in the dynamic SQL statement. Do not just take the data from the user and execute the statement and think about, oh, I'll first execute the statement and then handle the exception. No, because the statement's behavior can be modified. So there is no exception that will get thrown. And there lies the problem. So you have to be aware of these issues. So what are the various strategies which are there to against the against the SQL injection? So how can we avoid this SQL injection? So first, reduce surface attack. Ensure all Access database privileges are revoked and only those routines that are intended for the end users are exposed. That means do not expose all the packages and the functions and things which are there. So put them into package, correct? Don't put them into package body. Expose only what user needs to know. Okay. So package the things correctly. Make the procedures and functions which are not required by the user as private. Expose only what user requires to use. Though this does not eliminate the entirely the injection vulnerability, it does mitigate the impact of the attack. There is something called as invoker rights, and I'm going to talk more about this invoker rights. Invoker rights, using invoker rights helps limit the privileges, helps minimize the security exposure. So when we talk about this concept of invoker rights, what we can do is, who has a permission to execute this particular procedure or function? Don't give the permissions or the rights that the developer has, or developer, or the whoever is the what do you say, creator of that particular procedure. Don't give the rights of the procedure to the invoker. Let the rights of the invoker means who calls that particular procedure, be taken into consideration while that statement is being executed. Means I am the system user and I have created a procedure. As a system user, I have created a procedure and I have given you permission to execute that particular procedure. I have given a permission to execute the procedure, but that procedure should execute keeping into mind the permissions that you have, not the permission that I have. So do not give the definer's permission to the user. let it be the permissions of the user itself, because while you construct that user, you may have already given him some permissions, may have granted, you may have restricted some access, correct? So let the procedures be invoked not by the rights of the definer, but by the rights of the user. Okay, always keep that thing in mind. Okay, so give out privileges appropriately, run the code with the invoker's rights when possible. Invoker's right, that means I design, you call. So when you are calling that particular function or procedure, you are calling that function or procedure with your permission, not my permissions. And most of the time, we forget to write authentication ID. Remember, we have been using that word authentication ID in the procedures, and we ignore. लगता है यार इसकी कोई जरूरत ही नहीं है. Why do you need to bother about authentication ID? Create or replace procedure, procedure name, authentication ID. We don't even write. We directly say is and as, and we start. And then we don't realize, if I do not give the authentication ID, then we are passing the permissions of the creator, the definer, to the invoker. That means I am the super user and I do not use the authentication ID, then I'm giving my privileges to you to execute that particular procedure. So it will not be executed with the invoker's rights. It will be executed by the definer's right. So if I'm the super user, my rights will be taken into consideration while those procedures are being executed. So you are increasing the risk. So we have to always keep in the mind, do not give somebody the rights of the definer. Let them work with the rights of the invoker. Whoever is the invoker, his rights should be used while that particular procedures or any subprograms are being executed. Use avoid dynamic SQL with concatenated input. Now that's something bare minimum that you can think about. Whenever I construct a statement, procedures, wherever possible, I'll try and avoid constructing dynamic SQL statement. If I can do without dynamic SQL statement, that's the best thing that can happen. Dynamic SQL built with concatenated input values present easiest entry point for SQL injection. So if you have to use it, suppose there are some cases where we cannot do without dynamic SQL statement. So if you cannot do without dynamic SQL statement, at least bind the variables correctly. Okay. Avoid constructing dynamic SQL statement using this way. This way means by using concatenation, at least avoid that. Use static SQL wherever possible. Static SQL will eliminate injection vulnerability totally. So static SQL statements are always safe. Why? Because when the code is compiled, it identifies all the dependency. Everything is known at the time of compilation itself. If the table is not there and you are writing a static SQL statement to fetch the data from the table, that statement doesn't get compiled. No? It doesn't even get compiled. The PLSQL code block says this object is not found or something like that. Table is not found. Object is not found. So all the dependencies, all the writes, everything is checked at compile time itself. It is not just that, it can also improve the performance. Dynamic SQL की जगह अगर आप static SQL use करोगे, that will also improve the performance. And static variables implicitly binds the arguments. So if I can use bind arguments over there as well. But then if I use them, they are all binded. There is nothing like concatenation that can happen, and that's happening at compile time. And you cannot go ahead executing the DDL statements using so that means I cannot create a user or grant some rights, or I cannot drop a table or create a table. Those things I cannot do by using static SQL. We said dynamic SQL statement is required when we want to use, yesterday we said, when we want to use a DDL statement inside a procedure, which was otherwise not possible. You cannot say create table inside a procedure. But if you want to say create table inside a procedure, we have a choice. And that choice was go ahead with dynamic SQL and say execute immediate and execute that particular statement. We saw yesterday execute immediate, and that execute immediate can execute any kind of statement. Correct? You couldn't do that in static SQL. So use static SQL wherever possible. तो अगर आप avoid कर सकते हैं, तो that's the best thing to happen. Go ahead using a static SQL and complete your task. So is this all? No, there are so many things that we can actually keep in mind. Huh? I'm just trying to give you an example of a few aspects that you should consider, have back of your mind. Uh, if somebody has talked about it, maybe when you write statements, कुछ तो याद आएगा, अरे यहाँ risk है. And if there is a risk, then you may come back to what risk है, क्या किया जा सकता है, how can I mitigate that particular risk. सोचोगे तो सही ना थोड़ा बहुत. So that's the only reason this today's topic is devoted only for one aspect, just to make you a better programmer who writes safe code. And this is for every developer: Java, SQL, PLSQL, C++, Python, because in every application, through every language, we will be accessing applications, and you write your business logic where you query the database. And as a lazy programmer, while we construct those queries, we are more concerned with getting the output, and we construct in the simplest way that comes to our mind: concatenation of strings to construct a dynamic SQL statement, which are embedded into your application, maybe Java, maybe C, C++, whatever it is. You are opening doors for attackers. Okay. Just give me a minute. I'll again resume. Oh,
Sir,
yes.
abhi resume.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry. Okay. So I was emphasizing upon using dynamic, avoid dynamic SQL statements. And if you have to use it, go ahead with binding of variables. If you do not bind the variables, you are inviting trouble. Concatenation भूल जाएंगे तो ही अच्छा है. When you just cannot do anything, concatenation का इस्तेमाल करेंगे. Not only do bind arguments eliminate the possibility of SQL injection, they also enhance performance. मैं बार बार repeat कर रहा हूँ. It will improve the performance if I use dynamic, and it will improve the performance even further if I use static. तो अगर स्टैटिक यूज नहीं कर सकते हैं, बिकॉज द रिक्वायरमेंट इज सच दैट स्टैटिक एसक्यूएल कैनॉट बी क्रिएटेड, स्टेटमेंट कैनॉट बी क्रिएटेड, यूज डायनेमिक एसक्यूएल विद बाइंड आर्गुमेंट्स. Reduce end user interface only to those that are actually needed. In web application, restrict user access to specified web pages. That means some pages not all users will have an access to, because through the forms it's very easy to come into your application. So restrict access to every user to every part of your application. Create authentication mechanism, create authorization kind of mechanism, which user can see which page. Do that. In PLSQL API, expose only those routines that are intended for the customer's use. So I talked about packaging it correctly. So when you package it correctly, only expose those things which the user needs to know. So don't create packageless procedures and functions. Always keep them inside a package and expose only those functions. Create private packages and private functions and private procedures. Only expose those, encapsulate it properly. Only expose those things which the user needs to know. Where user inputs required, make use of language feature to ensure that only data of the intended type can be specified. Means if I wanted to use some input as integer, don't define it as varchar, because where and then cast it into integer. Don't do that. If it's integer was required, use it as integer. So if another other than integer, if user supplies something, I can immediately write it. Another example: if the input expected was that of a positive number, I was supposed to give roll number, then don't define a variable as number, because if you define number, he can give a negative number as well. So you create a variable that PLSQL gives you a type, correct, positive integer. So if PLS language has provided you some kind of feature, make use of all the features that the language has provided to avoid the probable problems that you can come across. Filter and sanitize input. This is something very important. I may not take an example of this today, but this is something that you should always think about. There is this package called as dbms underscore assert. Okay, that contains number of functions that can be used to sanitize user input. When the user input comes in, you want to guard that particular against the SQL injection that can happen. Correct. So in that case, there are various functions this dbms underscore assert provides you, where it can check whether the input that has been supplied is appropriate or not. If it is not appropriate, it will immediately stop running that particular statement. It will raise a exception and so on. In case if your filtering requirement cannot be satisfied by DBMS assert, that means your statements are a bit complex. The ready-made functions which DBMS underscore assert provides you for filtering, sanitizing the input. If they are not doing fulfilling that requirement, then you create your own filter. Who has stopped? That means you create your function that will act as a filter. It will filter the user input. In a way, it will validate the user input. If it is correct, only then it will be sent. Correct means if it contains uh, nothing which you do not want, okay, only then it will go further. If it contains anything that you do not want, then it should be stopped from being used in the dynamic SQL statement. So you can create your own filter. Sanitize the user input means check whether the input is in the right format or not. as I told you earlier, if I'm asking you to enter the employee name, I should only have the name. I shouldn't have any quoted characters or concatenation operator inside a name, because those symbols never appear in anybody's name. So I'll write a filter which will check, are there any unnecessary spaces? Are there any other characters which is unintended being added over here? If you find something over there, because say I say list all the employees from department number, whichever department number user supplies. So injection I can supply department number and I can concat and I can add one more statement as well over there. So where may something else can happen. All department details could also get printed, which was you are not really having a permission to access it. I'll show you examples how what looks very safe is a most unsafe kind of code that we end up writing. To make use of this dbms_assert, although I will not be discussing this package over here in this course, but since I told you, explore this particular package called as dbms_assert. Okay, so let's jump start with examples now. That was a short and in a way also quite an exhaustive discussion about SQL injection. I normally do not take up because so many aspects I do not discuss about SQL injection. But today I decided, because I have decided to take up only one topic today, this SQL injection. I'll not start off with embedded SQL today. Okay, so since we have some time now, let us go ahead exploring this particular concept. So in the next session, we will talk about the embedded SQL statements, how we can use. If you want, we can see through Java, or we could see embedding through C++. Let's jump in for some examples. A lot of examples in store for you. Okay. I have some setup that I have created, and just look at the tables that I'm creating, and I'm going to use those tables in the application in all the examples. We need some sample table. Na? I do not want to create problem for the existing ones. Here you go. I have a table called as secret records, which you should not have permission to access to. And I'm running it from the HR schema. There is a table called a secret record. So I have dropped that particular table. I'm constructing a table. Let me tell you about this table. The secret record table has username, the service type, the value, the date created, and so on. So there are some fields which are there. There are some fields which are there. Okay. So the secret table is being created. Inside the secret table, we insert some records. So some records have been inserted. First is Andy waiter, who serves Andy, who is the waiter. Because service type is a waiter. What does it do? He serves dinner at Cafe Pete, and the date when he has joined, maybe. So that's one record. Then we have another record of Chuck Mugger, and what he and what he does, he merges, he buys some company service type that he provides. He is a Chuck. He does mergers of company, he buys some company, and so on. And this is the time when, that means these are people, they provide this service from this date kind of thing. So there are secret records which are there. I have another table called as user password. I'm going to make use of these examples. And this particular table contains username and the password. Another table called as username and password. And inside that, I have inserted few records. So control F7, let's format it. Here we go. So we have a table called as user password. Inside this particular table, control F7 to format. So inside this table, we have username and password. This is common thing. And we have a user, one record as username is white hat and password is secret. So that's one password that is there. Then that's two tables we have seen now. The first one was a secret record. Second one is user password, and user password has one record. And then there is another table that I'm going to use called as Dell employee. And Dell employee says select star from employees. So it's a copy of our employees table. Okay. Select table Dell employee as select star from employees. So when you say select star from employees, it's just a copy of my employees table. And I say commit. Everything is ready. So our setup for today's discussion is ready. Let's start. What do I do? Watch the statement and see what has been done. I say create or replace get record. Create or replace procedure as get record. Whatever username that I pass, that's in. Whatever service name that I service type that I pass in, and I'm gonna get the record. So record is what will be returned. I said record is of type varchar2 and so on. Fine. Record is of type varchar2. I could have said record is of type uh, secret record. I could have done that also. Okay. Anyway, record is of type varchar2. I say authentication ID definer. Good that I have said definer. Okay, but at least I have remember about authentication ID. I should not say definer, but at least I have said authentication ID is, and there is some local variable that is query, the query that we are trying to create. So control R, it's a variable that I have. So I'll call as vQuery. Okay, so that's a query that I have. Have a look at it. Huh? And this is what we have been safely assuming it is correct, the way to write. And I construct a dynamic SQL statement. What am I doing? I'm saying vQuery select value from secret record. So we had this particular table called as a secret record where we had a value column wherein the value was what service does he provide? What service does he provide? Service type. And so I'll rather change the name. Instead of saying value, I could say service type and service detail, suppose. Service detail. Suppose if I say service detail. Okay, so service detail is what I said. Huh? So here also what I'll do is I'll replace this value with service detail. Okay, so I say select service detail. I'm saying select service detail from secret record where username is equal to, I have used quotes mein username. Now why am I putting this in quotes? Anybody? Why am I putting this in quotes? Anybody? Come on. SQL. Array, it's like when you supply literals, what are we doing? When you normally write a statement, suppose if I was writing a select statement, how do you write a select statement? Suppose if I wanted to get the name of a person, suppose if I had to write a regular select statement. So we as lazy fellow, we say service detail from so-and-so where name is equal to samjho Chuck. So can I give the name directly over here? Can I give the name? What was the name that we had inserted? क्या नाम एंटर किया था हमने यूजर का CHUCK चक okay will this work? No, that's a literal that I'm supplying na. So if I go on to fire this particular statement, on HR schema, it will immediately generate an error. It says name is equal to Chuck. It will say, oh, Chuck is an invalid identifier. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to put the Chuck in quotes. Yes or no? If I put this Chuck in quotes, then this particular statement may run correctly. Where क्या लिखा हमने service detail from secret record where username is equal to Chuck. अभी दोबारा रन करके देखते हैं. Username है ना?
Username is Whitehead.
अच्छा, username is Whitehead. No, secret record में username is Chuck. Spelling गलत रहेगा. CHUCK.
शायद फर्स्ट वाला रिकॉर्ड इंसर्ट किया रहेगा सिर्फ.
Pardon?
इसके ऊपर भी एक रिकॉर्ड था, शायद वो इंसर्ट किया रहेगा शायद सिर्फ.
ये इंसर्ट नहीं किया क्या?
शायद.
Let's insert and keep it ready. One record inserted. या कोई भी insert नहीं किया. Let us check the record. Let's drop it and let's create it once again. ना ये secret record या हमने discuss ही किया, सिर्फ run ही नहीं किया. ये table is created and the records are inserted. Let's see whether the records have got inserted. Yeah, records have been inserted. Now the records have been inserted. Let's fire this particular statement. Yeah, it's there. Records are not inserted only. Okay. So same may be the case with the other ones also. तो अगर अपना setup ही ready नहीं रहेगा तो कैसे चलेगा? Maybe I have only discussed it. ये drop किया. We created this particular table. We inserted Whitehead का record. That was another that was another table, user password. We drop this particular thing. Let's keep it ready and we commit it. यहाँ तक हम लोग आ गए. So our setup is now ready and commit. And I hope there is no error at any stage. Everything is perfectly done. Okay. So how do you write a statement? This is how you write a statement. Na? Now, since many of us are lazy, okay, we got the details now. Many of us are lazy. We try to write this. Remember, जिन्होंने JDBC किया है, we normally do the same thing. हाँ, we write a statement, we check whether a statement is running, and user supplied value will now supply over here. We are constructed dynamic SQL prepare statement or whatever you are doing. So in that case, you have constructed a statement saying whatever username that user has supplied, ये username that user has supplied, वो आपने डाल दिया quotes में. So then why 3 quotes?
Be multiple lines.
No, ये Python है
Empty
क्या?
string. Empty string.
नहीं 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 नहीं, not empty string. अरे यार कैसे भूल जा रहे हैं आप लोग? मुझे quotes डिस्प्ले करना है तो कैसे डिस्प्ले करूं?
क्यू से कर सकते थे
या तो फिर कोट्स में डालना होगा. तो अगर मुझे यहाँ एक कोट्स डिस्प्ले करना था, सर्विस नेम कॉमा दिस, कैन आई डिस्प्ले दिस कोट्स इन दिस पर्टिकुलर फैशन? नो. बट अगर मैंने ये 3 कोट्स डाल दिया तो क्या हो गया अभी यहाँ?
अवॉइड करेगा उसको, डिलिमिटर्स फाइंड.
सो आई एक्चुअली आई एम स्पेसिफाइंग कि क्या चाहिए मुझे. तो आई कैन जैसे दिस कोट्स कॉमा, ये एम्प्टी स्ट्रिंग हो गया, और एम्प्टी स्ट्रिंग में मैंने एक कोट्स दे दिया काइंड ऑफ थिंग. तो आई एम ट्राइंग टू स्पेसिफाई कि मुझे एक ये क्रिएट करना है, एक स्टेटमेंट क्रिएट करना है. तो हियर व्हेन आई एम पुटिंग दिस 3 कोट्स, नॉट ओवर हियर, समझो ये सर्विस डिटेल को मुझे कोट्स में डालना था. तो व्हाट आई कुड हैव डन, आई कुड हैव concatenated that particular statement. ये जैसे यहाँ concat किया है, I could have concatenated the service name. So look at this. If I run this particular code, I'll get the company name as it is. अब इस company name को मुझे कोट्स में डालना था. तो one way was I'll concat this. Although there are better ways to do it. So when I construct in this fashion, देखो क्या हुआ? When I run this particular code, what has happened? That service detail has come in quotes. Oh, I should have said service detail. Anyway, that has come in single quotes. Can you see the single quotes?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. तो ये 3 quotes ने क्या किया आपके लिए? What has the 3 quotes done?
Specified, I want the quotes in the.
एक single quote दिया उसने आपको. It has given you single quote. Okay. And while it has given a single quotes, okay, this has now become a string. So it could have been any string. From dummy also I could have taken. So if I had to print my name from in dummy, suppose मैं कहता हूँ select. If I say Rishi from dummy, that is dual. तो if I select Rishi from dual, ये ऋषि तो कोट्स में नहीं आने वाला है. अगर मुझे कोट्स में चाहिए था तो मैं कोशिश कर लेता, ये ऋषि जो है इसे ही मैं कोट्स में डाल देता, सपोज ट्रिपल कोट्स, और यहाँ भी ट्रिपल कोट्स. तो मैंने अगर इस तरीके से लिखा, लेट्स सी व्हाट हैपेंस. कैन यू सी दैट ऋषि इन ट्रिपल कोट्स, सिंगल कोट्स? यस और नो?
Yes.
तो हमने क्या किया, आई सेड दिस सिंगल कोट्स, यानी ये कोटेड कैरेक्टर के लिए लिया और ये कोट कैरेक्टर के लिए लिया. सो इफेक्टिवली व्हाट हैज हैपेंड इज दिस इज अपीयरिंग ऋषि हैज कम इन सिंगल कोट्स. तो आपको वो नेम सिंगल कोट्स में चाहिए था. तो इफ आई वांटेड दिस नेम इन सिंगल कोट्स, जो भी यूजर नेम सप्लाइड है, तो व्हाट आई हैव टू डू इज आई हैड टू प्रिपेंड एंड मींस प्रीफिक्स एंड सफिक्स विद ट्रिपल कोट, ताकि वो यूजर नेम जो भी यूजर ने सप्लाई किया है चक वगैरह, दैट विल अपीयर इन कोट्स. जैसे यहाँ ऋषि अपीयर हैज अपीयर्ड इन कोट्स, व्हाटएवर नेम दैट यूजर हैज सप्लाइड, वो वैल्यू मैं यहाँ सब्स्टिट्यूट कर रहा हूँ, तो उससे मुझे चक को कोट्स में चाहिए. एंड देन ऐसे सर्विस टाइप, वो भी मुझे कोट्स में चाहिए. तो आई एम जस्ट चेकिंग जिसका नेम एंड सर्विस टाइप इज मैचिंग, उसी को मुझे यहाँ प्रिंट करना है, उसी का रिकॉर्ड मुझे चाहिए. ओके, वेयर दिस एंड सर्विस टाइप इज इक्वल टू दिस, वो रिकॉर्ड मुझे चाहिए. तो व्हाट आई एम सिलेक्टिंग हियर, I am going to get the details of the service where username matches and the service type matches. So if I now have the user was Chuck, his service type was merger, Andy was a user, his service type was waiter. तो अगर मैं Andy waiter दे दूँ तो I should know what kind of service he provides me. Is that okay everybody? Statement समझ में आया है? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's a simple statement that we have written. For your understanding, I'm printing the statement and executing the dynamic SQL statement into this particular record. We have seen this, so don't ask me about this now. So yesterday we saw execute immediate and into also. So we execute the statement, and what is the result? That result is returned into this, and then I'm going to print that particular record. So whatever is the service detail that will be stored inside this record, and I'm going to print that record. I have taken the service detail to be of y type varchar2, and I have not given the limit as to what the size is. So whatever big record it may have been returning. So I have written a statement, and this is what we feel we are smart, and we have written a very nice code. It has been compiled correctly, and then we write a procedure where we have record value varchar of 4000. I say get record Andy waiter record value. So record value is out, Andy and waiter are in. So if it finds a person whose name is Andy, service type is waiter, I should get the record value. I should get the record value. So we run this particular statement. We run this particular statement and we see the result. I have not printed anything on the console right now. I could have also printed it onto the console. So once I get this record value, I could print it. Suppose if I want to, I could just print it. Oh, here I have anyway printed it in the procedure itself. I could have printed it over here as well. I could have printed it over here as well, saying what is the record value. I could have printed it again if I want to. Okay, but inside the procedure itself, we have printed it. So let's see. What does it say? Record serves dinner at Cafe Pite. आ गया. और statement क्या बन चुका है? Select service detail from secret record where can you see that name is equal to Andy in quotes? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And service type is equal to waiter in quotes. To get these quotes, I had used that quotes, triple quotes. So we got that thing in quotes. So everything looks fine and we are so very happy things are working correctly. अगर वहाँ नहीं print करते तो यहाँ आके print करते हैं. So I could have printed it over here. So now in this case I may get it twice. Okay, serves at so and so serves dinner at cafe anyway. Okay, whatever is the thing. One it has printed over here in the procedure, and another it has printed over here. It's a procedure that we have written. It has printed over here. Perfectly fine. सब कुछ सही लग रहा है अभी तक. Now what do we do? I am doing statement modification. This is the statement that the developer wanted was intended to run. I am going to modify as an attacker. I'm going to modify this particular statement. What is the modification? How am I enforcing that modification? Look what I write. I say get record anybody. Now, do you have anybody? The first parameter that will pass username will now become anybody. Do you have anybody in our system? No. So what have I done? I am passing anybody, and then I say or service type is equal to merger and anything. Arey, what am I doing? I'm constructing by using this concatenation, the statement itself will get changed. Now you need to focus on what is the query that is now getting executed. Just see, by playing around with that concatenation operator, how am I fooling the developer? I am changing the intention of the developer itself. What he wanted to do and what is being executed is totally different. I do not know about anybody. Look at that. मुझे नाम भी नहीं मालूम उस यूजर का. Andy नहीं मालूम, Chuck नहीं मालूम. I don't know anything. And I still got the details of Chuck. That means all those people who are whose service type is merger, मुझे वो record आ गया मेरे पास. How did I do? I said select service detail from secret record where user name is equal to anybody. ठीक है, क्या कह रहा है? User name is equal to anybody because anybody is the first parameter that we have passed. और आगे क्या हुआ? Concatenate और service type is equal to merger और service type is equal to merger. अरे यहाँ तो हमने and दिया था ना. The both has to match and service type is equal to so and so. It says or service type is equal to merger और फिर उसके आगे है ना and service type is equal to anything. अरे but और से क्या होता है?
Anyone.
अरे anyone नहीं. If this is satisfied, will it go and check for the rest?
No.
Will it check for the rest?
No.
No. So in that case, we have got those people whose service type is merger. Khatam, matter close. It is not even checking for the rest of the statements which is there. Condition is satisfied. Okay, where username is equal to anybody or service type is equal to merger, matter close. तो जिसका service type merger है, we are not supposed to have an access to those details. हमें तो उस बंदे का नाम भी नहीं मालूम. I could have also printed the name of that fellow which you have not supplied. Name of the fellow that you have not supplied. Correct? I got the service type. I am saying name is equal to anybody. Name is equal to anybody. And that record, whatever query it has returned, जो भी name वो return करेगा, okay, that has been stored inside the record. So I have got access to the data that I was not having privileges to access. मुझे उस बंदे का नाम भी नहीं मालूम है, and still have ensured that particular operation has been done. By doing what? By changing the statement itself. आपका ये select statement था that should have got executed like what we executed last time. This is a select statement that should have got executed. Select service detail from secret record where user is equal to Andy and service type is equal to waiter. That is what should have got executed. and we have done statement modification by cleverly changing the statement. अब statement क्या बन चुका है? Select service detail from secret record where name is equal to anybody और service type is equal to merger and आपका बाकी का है ना जो है and service type is equal to anything. अरे बट और सर्विस टाइप इक्वल मर्जर हो गया तो वी गेट ऑल दोस पीपल जिनका सर्विस टाइप मर्जर है. लकीली है एक ही रिकॉर्ड है तो एटलीस्ट प्रॉब्लम नहीं आ रहा है. इफ देयर आर मल्टीपल रिकॉर्ड्स तो क्या करते हैं? If the statement was returning multiple records, then what we'll have to do?
Cursor.
Fetch
Cursor use करते
multiple.
हैं. Cursor use करते हैं. Yesterday we have seen when if the query returns more than one values, we can use cursors. कल का टॉपिक ही था, लास्ट पार्ट cursors ही तो था हमारा. So we have modified the statement. And from where? Who is modifying? It is not the developer. Developer का तो code memory में loaded है. It is the invoker, attacker who is modifying your statement. And that opportunity he had because आपने यहाँ concatenation का इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं ना, तो आपने यहाँ user name को concat किया, तो यहाँ सिर्फ user name concat नहीं हुआ है. Here this entire thing has got concatenated. ये first user name की जगह ये आ गया और this is the first parameter now. This is the first parameter, that's username, and this is the second parameter, that's service type. तो service type is equal to anything हो गया, and username में you said or service type is equal to merger. So you have exposed, यानी you expected over here only username. तो if I was aware of filter, तो मैं क्या करता filter लेता तो? I would have avoided any statement which uses any additional thing or and any additional thing. I would expect only one string over here. Yes or no?
Yes.
So I could apply a filter so that unnecessary details could not have been supplied. I'll check for the filter कि यहाँ unnecessary quotes है क्या, कुछ और additional किया है क्या, and or का इस्तेमाल किया है क्या. If it is done, I will not let that particular statement being executed. I'll remove those unnecessary quotes and everything that has been allowed. I should have only one quote, starting quote and ending quote, matter close. I should not have any more quotes. I could create more filters. I could sanitize my code. I could check whether my code is correct or not. And if the input is valid, only then I would have executed that statement. Here, no sanitization has been done. Whatever input comes in, whatever input is received over here and here in, we are directly using them without any sanitization. Have you done any validation of the input? Nothing. You have just taken the username, presuming that मैंने user को नाम बताया तो user नाम ही देगा. That user, in addition to the name, is also supplying you something else. That is modifying the behavior of that statement itself. Okay. So it says username is anybody or service type is equal to merger. Matter close. Service type is equal to merger. आगे का statement execute ही नहीं हो रहा है. Okay. So this is how you could create problem for. You could change the statements itself. You could change the statement itself. अगर मैंने यहाँ space दिया होता, let's run it once again. Dash की जगह if I had given a space, and then I executed. What's happening? Okay, it says statement does not end properly. Okay, so suppose, and then we had given this dash, and then statement कैसे construct हो रहा है? Anybody or service is going to merger. Okay, ये merger यहाँ quotes, and then dash and service type is equal to anything. Okay, so you could cleverly create statements in different way. And you could change the intention of that particular statement altogether. यानी statement का purpose ही आप change कर रहे हैं. What was the purpose of executing that particular statement? Or the query that you have written itself has now been modified. So that was statement modification. So you have to be careful when you write statements. Avoid using these quotes, concatenation characters, and so on. Let's look at a better example. Okay, which looks like better, but let's see what may happen. Somebody said, sir, वो कोड्स के लिए ना क्यू यूज कीजिएगा. चलो क्यू यूज कर लेते हैं. आई हैव अ प्रोसीजर कॉल्ड एज चेक पासवर्ड, जिसमें मैं यूजर का नेम और पासवर्ड एक्सेप्ट करने वाला हूँ. एंड देन आई एम गोना से सिलेक्ट काउंट स्टार फ्रॉम यूजर पासवर्ड वेयर यूजर नेम इज सो एंड पासवर्ड इज सो. तो कितने यूजर्स हैं मेरे इसमें जिनका नाम ये है और पासवर्ड ये है, उसका काउंट मैं रिटर्न करने वाला हूँ. आई एम गोना हैव अ क्वेरी. ओके, सो देयर इज अ क्वेरी, सिलेक्ट काउंट स्टार फ्रॉम यूजर पासवर्ड वेयर यूजर नेम इज सो. कोड्स में दिया है, where username is whatever username that is supplied, and quotes में and password is the user password and end quotes. तो मैंने quotes को सही तरीके से handle किया हुआ है. And I have a statement saying chr of 10, build the following query. I'm gonna print whatever the query is. Okay, whatever the query has been created, that we're gonna print. Okay, this is only for understanding purpose कि क्या query है. I'm just gonna print it. Forget about that. Here I execute that query. यानी whatever query that you have created, यहाँ मैंने भले कोड्स को हैंडल किया है in different way, but these are two variables which have now been concatenated, input values that have been concatenated. I execute the statement और मैं check करता हूँ if v का output is equal to 1. Okay, because the result of this particular query will be stored into this variable. तो ये क्या करेगा, काउंट स्टार रिटर्न करेगा, काउंट स्टार का वैल्यू स्टोर्ड इनटू दिस पर्टिकुलर वेरिएबल. तो वी आर चेकिंग अगर आउटपुट 1 है तो आई एम गोना से पी यूजर इज ऑथेंटिकेटेड और एक से ज्यादा यूजर है उसी नाम से तो एक्सेस डिनाइड. दैट मींस इफ यू हैव मोर देन वन यूजर विद द सेम थिंग एक्सेस डिनाइड. ओके, तो लेट्स हैव दिस पर्टिकुलर प्रोसीजर रेडी. HR user is going to run that particular procedure. Procedure is being compiled and I create. I call this particular procedure called as check password. While giving a call, I use positional की जगह keyword arguments I am using. I am saying p user ये white hat है और उसका password secret है. Fine. So I have given a correct call to that particular procedure. Watch it. I have given a correct call to the procedure. Check password is a procedure I am calling, and these are keyword arguments what I have passed. I hope you remember the keyword arguments. Then the order doesn't matter. कौन से order में आपने pass किया है. And if you look at this, white hat is authenticated. Great. Why is white hat authenticated? Because his username and password matched. So select count star from user password where username is equal to white hat and password is equal to secret. ये match कर लिया तो आपके पास ऐसा एक ही बंदा है जिसका ये true है. तो I am saying that user has now been authenticated. So message has been correctly printed. User has been authenticated. ये आ गया आपके पास white hat is authenticated. The message has been correctly printed. Okay. Now that message has been correctly printed, let's do something else now. What do? I say check password, username is equal to X and password is equal to what? I'm saying X or X equal to X. क्या होगा? What will happen in this case? When I say username is equal to X, तो यहाँ तो X आ जाएगा. Username is equal to X, ये आ गया. ठीक है. एंड आपने लिखा पासवर्ड इज इक्वल टू क्या आएगा, पासवर्ड इज इक्वल टू एक्स आएगा. दैट इज नॉट मैचिंग. और क्या कह रहा है, और एक्स इक्वल टू एक्स. अरे एक्स इज ऑलवेज इक्वल टू एक्स ना.
यस
यस सर. तो इफ द कंडीशन इज सेटिस्फाइड, देखो अभी यहाँ क्या हो रहा है. व्हेन आई एम रनिंग दिस कोड क्या कहता है,
ऑथेंटिकेटेड.
क्यों ऐसा हुआ? बिकॉज व्हेन यू सेड लुक एट द स्टेटमेंट. ये स्टेटमेंट क्या एग्जीक्यूट हुआ वो देख लीजिएगा जरा. इट सेज काउंट स्टार फ्रॉम यूजर पासवर्ड वेयर यूजर इज इक्वल टू एक्स. हमारे पास ऐसा एक भी यूजर नहीं है. एंड पासवर्ड इक्वल टू एक्स. इज दिस सेटिस्फाइड?
नो.
नो. ये क्या कह रहा है, और
x equals to x.
is this satisfied?
Yes.
Yes. Matter close. If this is satisfied, that means one row is being returned. So if one value is being returned, this is not satisfied. Username equal to x and password equal to x. This is what you expected. आपने इसमें modify कर लिया और x equal to x. Now if I'm saying or x equal to x or 1 equal to 1, whatever I may have done. Here when I'm saying or x equal to x, this condition is true. So when I write a count star statement where that particular condition is true, it will give one value. Look at this. अगर इसी को मुझे आपको समझाना है with a different statement, here I'll just write one more statement for you just to help you understand. Suppose if I say select count star from dual. Okay. So when I say select count star from dual, let's see the result. It says 1. Oh, let me take some other table. Because इसमें एक रो एक रिकॉर्ड है. तो let's take suppose select count star from employees. Okay, this will give 107. जो भी 107 जो भी records है, 87 records है समझा. अभी 87 records है. We got 87 records. And I say select count star from employees where first name is equal to Rishi. Now there is nobody as Rishi in this employees table. So if I run this particular query, it will answer as 0. Okay, and what do? I say this or 1 equal to 1. 1 equal to 1. क्या हुआ?
All records number.
We have changed the behavior at all completely. यानी वो condition ही satisfy हो गया. Okay, we have got count star from employees. Why? First condition is not satisfied, true, but second is satisfied.
Yes.
Oh, so second is satisfied, मिल गया count star. तो here we have changed the behavior of the statement completely. So what looks like क्या रहेगा, वो quotes की वजह से ऐसा रहेगा. तो even if you have taken care of that quotes by using quoted string, इस बार मेरा quote character क्या है?
Curly brace.
Curly braces.
Curly braces is my quote character, correct? So even if you have taken care of quotes, that still doesn't have solve the problem. Problem is because of this concatenation that we are using to construct this dynamic SQL statement. Look at the behavior. The statements are changing completely. So you can play around, think about a form, and you can do this. I have suffered because of it, and then I learned the hard way. I told you yesterday, I shared the example with you. Na? Somebody logged into our system, your e-learning portal, and he reported to us on a front page. ये आपके good hacker था, वो attacker था. He attacked and he reported and he brought our system down. ठीक है ना, system down कर लिया. I realized what vulnerability exists, and we with so much of knowledge also, when we write the code, we forget about these small issues. And then one day something happens, then we realize this was an e-learning portal that was okay. Had it been banking system, had it been something else, it would have been having a serious impact, correct? And that guy told us this is what is the problem with your system. Somebody will not tell us. He will just exploit the vulnerability which is existing, and how simple it is. So next time, when you're playing around, you can check whether the designers have created those websites correctly or not. When the input is required, play around with them. Put some username password चाहिए, password में और डालो. अगर वो dynamic SQL statement create कर रहा है, it will fetch you the data. You will get into the system even when you are not authorized to get into the system. Something like this can happen. So play around with the forms and check, especially web applications when you are accessing on the sites. Just play around. Google वगैरह में check मत करो. They have well authenticated. But ऐसे अपने कॉलेज के वेबसाइट एप्लीकेशन साइट में देखो, अगर आपका कॉलेज का कोई साइट है जहां आपको लॉग इन करना पड़ता है, play around over there and see whether you can log into that particular system or not. And you will have some surprising results a lot of times. Okay. And because things may not have been done correctly. Things may not have been done correctly. Okay. Good programmers will ensure that such things are not allowed. And lazy programmers just make sure code run kar gaya na, good, and they don't think about what vulnerabilities exist, where the things can actually go wrong. Here we go. So this was an example of statement modification. Let's look at a statement injection. So I create a call check password. Okay, that's a procedure that we have created. Here also we had a procedure called as check password. Now we have a procedure called as call check password. That's a procedure. There are two input parameters that are there. Okay, and there is a block that I would like to execute. So block says begin check password. That's a procedure, a nested procedure, nested block that is there. And say begin check password, p user, comma password. Okay, so begin. I'm saying p user, password. These are variables that have been created, and then end. Oh, nothing much has been done. It's a simple block that has been created. For your understanding, I'm going to print that particular block. I'm just going to print that particular block, whatever the block is. So we have a block, and I execute that block. So if I execute that block, what will happen? It will say begin check password, p user, comma password. Nothing special. Simple procedure that you have created. So when I execute this, here we go. I'll disconnect the other connections for a moment. So it will not ask me. So this procedure has been compiled. So what do? I say call check password. Username is white hat. Password is secret. तो अगर मैं इसे रन करता हूँ, watch it. It was a simple procedure to print what you have supplied. तो ये क्या कह रहा है? White hat has been authenticated. क्या हुआ? We have created a procedure called as check password. Correct? We have created a procedure called as check password. And here, what am I doing? I have a procedure that will invoke check password. So I'm saying begin check password. ये check password क्या है? ये procedure जो आपने last time create किया है. Can you see that? It's a procedure that we have created last time. And here I say begin. in the begin, I create check password. I'm calling the check password method. I'm passing username and password. तो username comma password. Look at the statement that has got printed. ये statement देखो क्या print हुआ है यहाँ. ये statement क्या है? Begin check password white hat secret, and that's a block that we have created. In this block, we are calling a procedure that we have created in the last example. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we are calling that procedure. Look at the statement. Look at the statement. We are calling, I say begin, check password, white hat and secret, and end. It's an anonymous block that we have created. It's a block that we have created, and within this block, I'm calling the check password. So call check password is a procedure which calls a procedure called a check password with the username and password. And if everything is right, it will authenticate or it will not authenticate. Suppose the username was white hats and we don't have anybody as white hats, so it will not be authenticated. Let's see. Is क्या कह रहा है? Access denied. So it's working fine, and we are so very happy. My procedure is working correctly. Okay. See what will happen. Last time I showed you statement modification. Now statement injection. What am I doing? I say call check password. Oh, call check password. Here also I had done the same thing. Na? Call check password. That's a procedure that I'm calling. Inside this procedure, I was passing 2 parameters. Here also I'm going to pass 2 parameters. एक मैंने pass किया white hat. That's okay. और आगे क्या किया मैंने pass? Password, secret, semicolon ना? Semicolon ना? And delete from hr.del employee where uppercase x is equal to uppercase x. इससे क्या होगा? hr.del employee में where I'm saying where uppercase x equal to uppercase x. यानी क्या होगा यहाँ?
All the records will get deleted.
All the records will get deleted. Before I delete, let me show you the records which are present in del employee. Okay, or count star of records in del employee. So if I say it was a copy of my employees table, so del emp select star from del emp count star from del emp. So this was the number of records which are there inside the del employee. So user is now the attack. There are 87 records over here. Watch it. There are 87 records over here, and now we execute this particular procedure. When this procedure is being executed, what has happened? It says Ythought has been authenticated. That's okay, huh? And you are not even aware what has happened. अब देखो तो यहाँ और क्या हुआ है. अगर मैं select star from ये कहता हूँ, you are not even aware कि कुछ ऐसा हो चुका है. कितने records है अभी इसमें टेबल में? 0 records. Why? Because the statement that got executed was something different. देखो क्या execute हुआ है. Select star from user password. This is an secret. यहाँ तक. And you are happy. Oh, whatever I have executed has got executed. अरे मगर यहाँ आपने क्या किया था आगे? You had put a semicolon and written this particular statement, and that particular statement will now be built in over here, and that will delete all the records from that particular user's record. So here password था. Password के आगे there is something more that has got added. So let's execute this particular procedure once again. Let's execute this particular procedure once again and see what has happened. So here it looks like here. Look at the thing now. ये कहता है begin check password white hat secret. Look at this. क्या हुआ है? Semicolon delete from hr.del where name is equal to uppercase end. यानी ये block execute हुआ है. So इस block में अभी 2 statement है. Ideally we should have had only 1 statement inside it. We should have had only 1 statement that was to be executed. कहाँ गया एक statement ये? Your block should have been like this. Begin check password white hat end. अब आपका block कैसे बन चुका है? ये anonymous block, okay, which is being executed. एक है call to this method that is giving you correct answer, and second is delete. The records have been deleted. The table has been destroyed. So this is statement injection. Without the knowledge of the user, you have injected a statement. You have injected a statement inside the code, and this is happening because you have concatenated. आप concatenate कर रहे हैं आप यहाँ ये concatenate कर रहे हैं तो ये password भी concat हो गया but password सिर्फ password ये नहीं password concat हुआ है. This entire string has got concatenated. आपने यहाँ semicolon डाला that means it's a different statement. तो ये 2 अलग statements are getting executed. Understood this difference between statement modification and statement injection? Give me a quick feedback. समझ में आ रहा है या नहीं आ रहा है? So 2 चीजें देखी हमने. Attack कर रहे, modification भी किया और injection भी किया. Okay.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yes, please.
So if you want to inject some kind of a code, you should have a basic knowledge about the table names and attribute names inside the tables.
Why?
क्योंकि सर आपने इधर hr.del एम्प्लॉइज वाला डाला ना
हाँ,
डिलीट करने के
हाँ,
पहले.
हाँ.
बट ऑफ
अरे
कोर्स आपको कोई भी क्वेरी में आप ट्रू डाल दोगे तो हो ही जाएगा वो
अरे
एग्जीक्यूट.
मैं तो सारे टेबल्स भी डिलीट कर सकता हूँ ना. यूजर टेबल में से टेबल का नाम लूंगा और उसको भी डिलीट करूंगा. आई राइट 3-4 क्वेरीज हो देयर. आज तो मैंने एक स्टेटमेंट एग्जीक्यूट किया. कैन आई नॉट राइट 10 स्टेटमेंट्स हो देयर? कैन
Yes,
आई नॉट
like
से टेबल नेम फ्रॉम यूजर टेबल्स?
okay, and that will kind of delete all the tables.
यस, आई कैन डू
Okay.
एनीथिंग. मैं तो एक एग्जांपल दिया मैंने कि एक स्टेटमेंट डाल सकते हैं, तो आप वहां 10 स्टेटमेंट डाल सकते हैं ना.
Yes, sir. Yes,
What
sir.
you have to do, you just have to add comma, 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 semicolon, 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 add as many number of statements. You are injecting multiple statements. Who said that you can write only one statement? So if I do not know the name of the table, from the schema, I'll find the user tables, store into a variable. I can write the entire code here. Na?
Yes, yes,
I can write the entire block over here,
yes.
PLSQL block. I'll store into a variable, fetch those values from the variable, and then delete one table at a time.
Okay, like because every database will have a user table, so you will
Yes.
get all the information. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So it was not necessary. We can always find it at runtime as well. So anything can be done. We could write the entire code block. I wrote one statement injection. I can say code block injection. I can write one more code block over there. Who is going to stop me? One more begin end and do entire program. You can. That means you can supply one program that is getting executed in your code. After semicolon, I'll write one code block, complete begin end, provided I knew that code has been written in PLSQL. And if it is in Java, I can do that as well, because Java also will run these procedures for you, code blocks for you. So you have to be very careful, especially the Java developers who are not aware of what is happening in the background. So with the knowledge of SQL, you will become a good Java developer, because when you create prepared statements in Java, in the dynamic SQL statements, when you create where substitutions is being done, you will now avoid using that concatenation and other things. And look at the code that we have also written. A lot of places we have used concatenation even while you are constructing SQL statements. No more, if you are aware of this concept. Look at this. We are again coming back to the previous example. We had the username and service type that we are talking about. So I have created a procedure P, which takes the username and service type. I say authentication definer. Okay. I have a block that I'm creating. In this block, I say dbms. I'm going to print the username. I'm going to print the service type. Okay. So user, जो भी नाम user pass करोगे, उसका username और उसका service type हम लोग print करने वाले. Sounds safe. What are we doing? Whatever username we pass, we are going to print that user's name and we are going to print the service type. So safe. यार कुछ नहीं इस code में. It looks so very simple, and then I say execute this block one. So when I execute this block one, whatever username that you have supplied and whatever service type that you have supplied, it should print. It has nothing to do with our table. है क्या अपने table से कोई relation इसका? Does it have any? No, nothing. It is a simple statement. Okay. Simple सा procedure है. जो भी आप username और सब ये pass करोगे, that it should print. It's as simple as that. Procedure P has been compiled. Procedure P has been compiled, and I say I want to execute it. तो मैंने कहा begin procedure P को call किया endian waiter. तो when I say endian waiter, what it should do? It should print the details. Let's see whether it prints the detail. ये कहता है यूजर का नाम क्या है, एंडी है, सर्विस टाइप क्या है, वेटर है. अपने टेबल से कोई मतलब ही नहीं है. क्या कह रहा है? यूजर नेम एंडी and dbms underscore input service type waiter. It has nothing to do with our table as well. Table से कोई मतलब नहीं है. It is as simple as that. Whatever username that you supply is printed, whatever service type that you supply is printed. It's just printing whatever data that you are supplying. Assuming that first is the username, second is the service name. It just prints. Simple PLSQL code block is what is written. I can create havoc. What am I doing now? I am saying P anybody anything. What will happen because of this? Anybody, anything, username, password, correct? But what is done next? Here I have put these quotes. Can you see these quotes? I say semicolon, and this is additionally supplied. क्या supply किया आपने? Delete from secret record where service type is init cap merger. यानी ये जो merger का अपना चक था, चक ही था ना merger में? कौन था?
Yes,
कौन सा
sir,
टेबल?
sir.
टेबल कौन सा है?
Secret records.
LMNOPQRS सीक्रेट रिकॉर्ड्स. इसका डेटा देखेंगे. ये अपना चक था जिसका सर्विस टाइप मर्जर था. He's gonna buy this company or help you buy that particular company. ये अपना बंदा है. And here we are. So last time when we printed Andy Waiter, वो print हुआ. Now here that record should get deleted because you have done statement injection. P में आपने एक anybody पास किया यूजर नेम और पासवर्ड में क्या पास किया है? पासवर्ड में आपने ये सब कुछ पास किया है with a semicolon between. तो ये जब कोड ब्लॉक एग्जीक्यूट होगा, see what code block gets executed. See what has happened. It says स्टेटमेंट देखो, ये पहला स्टेटमेंट है एनीबडी प्रिंट करना है तो एनीबडी प्रिंट हुआ. ये दूसरा स्टेटमेंट है ओके सर्विस टाइप एनीथिंग, तो ये भी प्रिंट हुआ. एनीथिंग इज आल्सो प्रिंटेड. यू आर अंडर इंप्रेशन एवरीथिंग इज वर्किंग फाइन बिकॉज आप ये थोड़ी ना प्रिंट करने वाले कोड में. दिस इज फॉर अंडरस्टैंडिंग. तो यू आर अंडर इंप्रेशन, हाँ यूजर नेम पासवर्ड एवरीथिंग हैज गॉट प्रिंटेड परफेक्टली. हाँ दैट मींस इज वर्किंग करेक्टली. इन एडिशन टू दैट व्हाट हैज हैपेंड, ये सेमीकोलन आगे और हो गया डिलीट फ्रॉम सीक्रेट रिकॉर्ड वेयर सर्विस टाइप इज यूनिक टाइप मर्जर, यानी ऑल दोस रिकॉर्ड्स नाउ हैव बीन डिलीटेड. ये गया आपका मर्जर. रिफ्रेश करके देखते हैं. गॉन. I could have said anything over there. I could have said drop table only. वो पूरा टेबल ही ड्रॉप कर देता. Where this particular code, that means इस टेबल को उस टेबल इस प्रोसीजर को अपने उस टेबल से कोई मतलब ही नहीं था. It was simple procedure. It could have been anything. I could inject any statement in any procedure. Are you getting my point? Here I can delete employees table also. Drop table employees table. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So you are creating havoc. You could drop your database only, provided you have the permissions. And here at least I have said authentication definer. Okay, so based on if you have not used those authentication, if you have given him exclusive rights, whatever the rights of the creator are, and if you are a system user who had created that procedure, then he may have all the rights of the definer. System user के rights रहेंगे उसे. तो system user के rights रहेंगे, तो he can drop the table, not just the table, the entire database. He can do anything if he knows a bit of SQL. उसे SQL मालूम है तो it can do anything. So this procedure had nothing to do with the secret record table, and still we have deleted the records from the secret record table. क्या किया उसके लिए? Nothing. Just put a quote and a semicolon and continue that statement. So password में गया, not just this, password ये पूरा गया और उसमें semicolon है तो it has been treated as a separate statement. So run करते समय देखो ये separate statement करके run हुआ है. So this was the first statement, this was the second statement, and this was like a third statement that has got executed. And user is under impression सब कुछ सही हुआ है because this will not be printed to the user ना. User हाँ मेरा procedure सही काम कर रहा है. अरे but in the background something else has also been done. Somebody has injected a statement into your code. Have to be very very careful. Let's look at this first order attack. Okay, come simple examples. A procedure with dynamic SQL constructed via concatenation of input value. This is vulnerable for SQL injection. तो what do I do? I have a procedure called as get email. Everything looks so nice. हाँ, जिसमें आप यूजर का लास्ट नेम दोगे ना, whatever user का लास्ट नेम that you have given, I'm saying v statement select email from employees where last name is equal to p last name, यानी उन सारे बंदों का लास्ट नेम मुझे चाहिए. And cursor, I am going to fire this particular statement. Open CV. Okay, CV is my cursor variable. Okay. CV is my cursor variable for this particular statement. When I say open CV for statement, that means the statement will get executed. The result will get stored into this cursor variable record variable. Okay, so cursor variable is there in which the result will get stored. And then I say fetch CV into email ID because here we are fetching only email ID. Exit when not found. And हर एक बंदे का email ID print करेंगे. Very simple. अगर नहीं मिलता है, then I would have said the statement would have been printed. Fine. So it's a simple procedure that we have written. What is the purpose of the procedure? Whatever user name का last name you pass, his email ID has to be printed. There can be more than one user, तो सबका email ID will get printed. Simple सा code है. Correct? So we are ready with a procedure. We are ready with a procedure that will give you email ID of all the users. So I say execute get email King. So all those employees whose surname is King, उनका email ID जाएगा. So I got J King भी है और S King भी है. I got two email IDs. That was good. If a good user, but if an attacker looks at this, what he does? He say execute get email X union select username from all users where X is equal to X. जय आपका क्वेश्चन आपको टेबल नहीं मालूम थे ना ये लो तो I'm saying select username from all users where X is equal to X and now by doing so what has happened you are running this particular query and what has happened look at that ये क्या आ गया आपके सामने एक तो आपको we said where name is equal to X ये कंडीशन satisfied था या false था
False.
false आगे क्या लिखा आपने union ओके, यूनियन में क्या लिखा आपने? सिलेक्ट यूजर नेम फ्रॉम ऑल यूजर्स वेयर x equal to x. So when I do an union, what will happen? A result of this query will be added with result of this query.
Yes.
Yes.
What did the result of this query give you?
Nothing.
Nothing. And what is the result of this query has given you?
Username from all tables.
Username.
All tables नहीं, from the database, all
Yeah.
usernames, correct? तो यूनियन में क्या है? ये भले नल हो, नल यूनियन अदर इज नल. empty set union other set, is it empty set?
No. Other
Other
set.
set.
other set. तो आ गया ना सबके सारे यूजर्स के नाम. देखो मैं अभी यूजर को ड्रॉप भी कर सकता हूँ. इसमें से स्कॉट को ड्रॉप करना है, किसी यूजर को डिलीट कर देना है. दैट ऑल्सो आई कैन डू नाउ. व्हाई आई कैन डू दैट? बिकॉज another issue, you have executed this particular procedure without specifying. मैंने यहाँ स्पेसिफाई नहीं किया है इसके राइट्स किसके हैं. अगर this procedure was created by a sysdba, listen to me very carefully. If this user procedure, and this is what we write, when we write the procedure, we are so careless, not just you, even I forget at times. We are so careless that we are focusing on writing a procedure. So we write a procedure not realizing when I do not give user authentication ID, that means I am giving the privilege of the definer to the caller. So you are the caller. Right now, you only printed this union, select this. You could have said semicolon, and you could have dropped the things also. Means you could have done statement injection also. Here I have not. Here I have injected that additional statement. You could have dropped those particular user also by knowing what the user has been written. Anything could have been done. You are giving the rights of the definer to the user, to the caller. So that's the risk that we do. So henceforth, when you write a procedure, never forget to write about authentication. I'll show you a scenario of how severe that issue is. But point is, what have we done? You are supposed to get the name of the person, email ID of a person उसका जिसका surname आप दोगे, last name दोगे. Here this last name was not found matching. No issues ना. Union कहा आपने ना, union. That means this second statement will always get executed even if the first condition is false. तो आपको यूजर का पासवर्ड भी नहीं मालूम रहेगा ना, तो आगे आप यूनियन बोल के कुछ और सप्लाई कर सकते हैं. तो when you are logging through a form and those we say ना, sometimes we get some designers आते हैं, website designers, web application designer, कहते हैं ना हम लोग 5,000 में आपको वेबसाइट बना के देंगे या ऐसा वाला बना के देंगे, where all the authentications have not been done properly, and some people say हाँ website चाहिए तो same kind of scope भी रहेगा, you will be charged 2 lakh rupees, and we wonder अरे ये 5,000 में दे रहा है, ये 2 लाख दे रहा है. Okay, appear करने के लिए दोनों एक जैसे लग रहे हैं. अरे but there is an effort that has gone into in safeguarding every aspect and which we normally overlook. We just look at the cost aspect of it. कोई कहता है 10,000 में वेबसाइट बन जाता है, कोई कहता है 2 लाख में बन जाता है. But there is some difference in the quality of code. It's not just about what appears. It's something that has been written behind. So efforts have to be put in to design good quality applications. So you as a PLSQL developer, you as a Java developer, अगर आपके दिमाग में ये है ऐसे इंजेक्शन हो सकते हैं, तो while you write the code, we will not put that extra efforts to use the bind variables and everything, using the filters, which I am not discussing currently for you. dbms_assert explore करोगे, उसमें से filters क्या है, नहीं तो खुद का filter लिखोगे, वो validate करेगा statement को, and then उसको fire करेगा. Will it not take extra efforts? And with efforts, cost will also escalate. But what is important? Safety, या cost? Now that's for you to decide. The client to decide means, but you can always propose to the client. You can tell them, why does my system cost more? You are going to get the same output, but this mechanism to enforce safety, which you are not even aware of, is what I'm going to introduce in your application. So good programmers always take into consideration all these aspects when they're developing an application. And a lazy programmer may just finish it off. He's not even concerned, bothered. He is under feeling like दुनिया सब उसके जैसी ही अच्छी है, and nobody's going to attack the system, nobody's going to break into the system. Where the situations are so very bad, your competitors will hire people to get into your system. He'll pay for your system to be broken. He'll pay for you to get the information. आपका कोई डेटाबेस रहेगा, उसमें आपके कोड्स रहेंगे, उसमें आपके बिड्स रहेंगे, तो यू वांट टू नो व्हाट आपने क्या रेट में बिड किया है. तो आपने 1 लाख में बिड किया, तो 10,000 में बिड किया, तो ही विल चार्ज 9,999, ₹1 कम, एंड ही विल विन द बिडिंग. एनीथिंग कैन हैपन. एंड आपने वो पिक्चर देखा रहेगा ना, क्या था पिक्चर का नाम, where they go to what extent in corporate world to get information about the competitors. I just forgot the name. किसी का भी नाम याद नहीं आ रहा है, पिक्चर याद आ रहा है मगर एनीवे फॉरगेट. कॉर्पोरेट के बारे में था, मराठी कॉर्पोरेट ही था पिक्चर का नाम. ओके, पिक्चर का नाम कॉर्पोरेट था. ओके, दीपक शौकीन नहीं लगता है पिक्चर्स का. एनीवे, Let's go ahead. So think about the quality of code. What impact can it have? तो अगर आपको सेफगार्ड करना है तो बाइंड वेरिएबल्स का इस्तेमाल करेंगे, वही काम कर रहे हैं हम लोग, बट ये कोड कैसे लिखेंगे? चेक पासवर्ड ही करना है हमें, तो ऐसे सिलेक्ट काउंट स्टार फ्रॉम यूजर पासवर्ड वेयर यूजर नेम इज इक्वल टू :1 एंड पासवर्ड इक्वल टू :2. ग्रेट. बाय राइटिंग दिस स्टेटमेंट वही काम कर रहे हैं, बट यहाँ अभी कॉन्कैटिनेशन की जगह आई एम यूजिंग बाइंड वेरिएबल्स. तो आई चेंज द स्टेटमेंट, आई यूज बाइंड वेरिएबल्स :1 एंड :2. And just for your information, I'm printing this. इसका और कोई purpose नहीं है. And we execute this particular query. But while I'm executing this query, the result will be stored into this and using the value that user has supplied. Using, look at that, into and using. Yes. So I'm gonna store the result into this using the value. तो ये p user कहाँ चला जाएगा?
यूजर नेम क्या?
यानी कौन सा बाइंड वेरिएबल? प्लेसहोल्डर प्लेस, and ये कहाँ चला जाएगा? :2 में चला जाएगा. दे आर जस्ट द प्लेस होल्डर्स ना, दे आर जस्ट द प्लेस होल्डर. वहाँ सब्सिट्यूट हो जाएगा. फिर आउटपुट इक्वल टू 1 आप ऑथेंटिक कहोगे या नॉट ऑथेंटिकेट कहोगे. लुक एट दैट नाउ, वी हैव मेड स्मॉल चेंजेस, okay, by using bind variable, and then somebody is trying to modify the statement. देखते हैं, or x equal to x, like what had been done earlier, and it's the same statement that I have written, but this time he will not be in a position to break it. क्या कह रहा है? Access denied. क्यों access denied? Because आपने कहा ये bind to कहा है, आपने ये statement ऐसे लिखा है, तो वैसे ही execute होगा with the substitution that has been done. तो values will get substituted here. 1 and 2 की जगह values substitute होंगे, वही print होगा. ये आपने जो और वगैरह दिया है, that will not get substituted. तो access has not been denied. So last time for the same statement, where I modified the statement, we got an access. Remember that? Yes or no? यही execute किया था ना आपने? We got an access. Now it is not happening because substitution कर रहे हैं ना, :2 में पहला ही argument substitute होगा, सिर्फ तीसरा argument नहीं substitute होगा, और वाला नहीं आएगा वहाँ. So password is equal to that particular value. Use bind variables if you really want to avoid that particular trouble. Here we go. Now talking about emails, get email का हमने एक एग्जांपल देखा था थोड़ी देर पहले. Yes, we had saw this get email. Yes, but to get this email we used dynamic SQL. अरे we could, जहाँ static SQL से काम बन सकता है तो वहाँ dynamic SQL के बारे में क्यों सोच रहे हो? तो I could write a statement from procedure called as get email. I can get all the emails. How? I say for I in cursor, implicit cursor, select email from employees where last name is equal to p last name. So whatever p last name that I supply, where last name equal to p last name, and then I'm going to fetch the values. So write a static SQL statement. Now, why are you writing dynamic SQL statement? Procedure has been created, and I'm going to get the same value. यही तो आपकी requirement थी ना, जो user name दोगे उसके password print, email ID print होने चाहिए. We got the results, same behavior. And when I say union something like this, okay, when I try to inject a statement, कुछ नहीं, no result, no record found. No record found. So make sure use static SQL statement, not dynamic SQL statement. Here, no record found result. I could have done the exception handling as well. Why? Because it becomes like select name from employees where last name is equal to p last name की जगह, where last name is equal to p last name की जगह क्या आ जाएगा यहाँ? Although you have given this union, that union will not be where last name is equal to union नहीं आ जाएगा. Only x will get substituted. Where last name is x is not satisfied. Okay, this union additional thing that I have given, or last name is equal to x. Okay, where may you are now saying x. Okay, where so and so name is equal to x, union select name last name, that will not get printed over here. That will not get added. Only x will get added, the p last name. So that problem of injection will now be taken care of. Create statements which are using static SQL. Avoid using dynamic SQL. Static SQL. And static SQL, what happens? What happens in static SQL?
Compile time.
Nah, static SQL में automatic binding happens of the variable. You don't have to bind the variable. In the last example, we had bind the variables, correct? This variable was bind with this placeholder. This variable was bind with this. In static SQL, dynamic binding will not happen. Statically, it will bind x with last name. Matter close. इसका तो कोई मतलब ही नहीं बना. Automatic binding happens in static SQL. So there is no question of that attack being happening अगर आप स्टैटिक एसक्यूएल का इस्तेमाल कर रहे हो तो। लुक एट दिस, हमने कहा एक है लिस्ट ऑल एम्प्लॉइज. लुक एट द सिनेरियो. आई एम गोना शो यू समथिंग वेरी पावरफुल नाउ एंड विल स्टॉप विद दिस एग्जांपल. आई हैव अ लिस्ट एम्प्लॉय डिटेल नाम का एक प्रोसीजर है. आई हैव अ कर्सर, रेफरेंस टू अ कर्सर. वी हैड टॉक्ड अबाउट इट. रेफरेंस टू अ कर्सर है. एंड कल हमने देखा था दो स्टेजेस है. फर्स्ट वी क्रिएट अ कर्सर टाइप and second we create a variable of that type. Remember कल हमने नोट में लिया था. We first create a cursor type. It can be weak or it can be a strong cursor type, and then we create a variable of that type. I have a variable called first name, last name, salary, and a statement. Fine. I'm having a statement. Select first name, last name, salary from employees where first name like whatever name that you have given. तो आपने फर्स्ट नेम में जो भी नाम दिया रहेगा, आपके नाम में वो कहीं भी वर्ड रहेगा, तो all those employees names will be selected. I open up a cursor variable for this particular statement and I fetch the values from that particular cursor and print all those employees जिनके नाम में वो words है. सिंपल सा एम्प्लॉय लिस्ट एम्प्लॉय डिटेल्स नाम का एक प्रोसीजर है. ओके, बट कॉन्कैटिनेशन यूज कर रहे हैं तो यू आर गोना फेस अ प्रॉब्लम. तो मैंने कहा एग्जीक्यूट लिस्ट एम्प्लॉय डिटेल स्टीवन. तो व्हेन आई से एग्जीक्यूट लिस्ट एम्प्लॉय स्टीवन, तो लेट्स सी डिड वी गेट डिटेल्स ऑफ स्टीवन. ये कहता है एम्प्लॉय इन्फो स्टीवन किंग 2400. फाइन. स्टीवन तो एक यूजर था. हमारे पास विलियम भी है और विलियम शायद एक से ज्यादा है. हमारे पास कर्सर है ना, तो वी कैन हैव मोर देन वन. वॉच इट. ऐसे मोर देन वन विलियम है क्या? मोर देन वन कोई और यूजर है मोर देन वन? या एक विलियम स्मिथ है, एक विलियम गिट्स है. वी गॉट ऑल द रिकॉर्ड्स परफेक्टली फाइन. सब कुछ सही लग रहा है टिल हियर. एंड देन समबडी डज समथिंग लाइक दिस. लिस्ट एम्प्लॉय डिटेल स्पेस कोड्स and 1 is equal to 0 and 1 is equal to 0 union select username null 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 from all user. क्या होगा भैया? this तो ये एग्जीक्यूट भले ना हो, ये क्या होगा? union select username null null null. that means आपका स्टेटमेंट क्या बनेगा? there is a table called as all users. all user में यूजर नेम भी है, बट ये null 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 क्यों दे रहा हूँ मैं? 3 वैल्यूज क्यों दे रहा हूँ? बिकॉज इन दिस पर्टिकुलर स्टेटमेंट यू आर फेचिंग 3 इंफॉर्मेशन ना. ये जब आप ये फायर कर रहे हो, आपको फर्स्ट नेम चाहिए, लास्ट नेम चाहिए, सैलरी चाहिए. 3 वैल्यूज विच आर देयर विच विल बी स्टोर्ड इनटू दिस पर्टिकुलर 3 वेरिएबल्स. तो मुझे तो फर्स्ट नेम चाहिए था, लास्ट नेम में मैंने नल नल दे दिया. फाइन. तो व्हेन आई रन दिस पर्टिकुलर क्वेरी, जरा स्टेटमेंट देखो क्या बन चुका है. व्हाट इज द स्टेटमेंट दैट हैज हैपेंड? स्टेटमेंट हैज नाउ बिकम सिलेक्ट फर्स्ट नेम लास्ट नेम फ्रॉम एम्प्लॉइज वेयर फर्स्ट नेम लाइक परसेंट नथिंग, लाइक परसेंट नथिंग, and 1 equal 0. ये दोनों false हो गए. This entire thing is false. Okay, आगे क्या लिखा आपने? यूनियन सिलेक्ट यूजर नेम नल नल फ्रॉम ऑल यूजर्स. तो आपका स्टेटमेंट कुछ भी हो, मैंने तो सारे यूजर्स के नाम फाइंड कर लिए. यूजर नेम एनोनिमस नल नल, बिकॉज ये दोनों तो वैल्यू नल नल है. लास्ट नेम सैलरी नल दिया मैंने. तो एम्प्लॉयज इन्फो, अरे भले एम्प्लॉयज इन्फो कहता हो, बट आई हैव प्रिंटेड नेम्स ऑफ ऑल द यूजर्स विच आर देयर इन दिस सिस्टम. बैड. I have injected a statement and I'm doing something very weird. I wanted to avoid this particular thing. Users should not have been having permission to carry out this operation. Risk kaha thi? Risk was not just that you had created a statement in this fashion. Risk was how have you defined this particular procedure? You have given the permissions which that user should not have been having. That permission has now been granted. So instead, what I could have done, I could have created a procedure. I'm creating a procedure now. And while I'm creating this particular procedure, let's see what is happening. I'm saying bind, that's a variable that I've created, bind percent first name percent. तो whatever name you pass, से आपने KING में से ING पास किया, तो bind जिसके भी फर्स्ट नेम में ING है, स्टीवन में VAN है, जिसके भी विलियम में AM है, किसी के भी नाम में कहीं भी AM है, percent AM percent, that variable I have created in which I have added that pattern of the string that you are giving. And I say where first name like vbind, matter close. Vbind mande ye pattern. Okay, so there is no way you can inject a statement now. There is no way we can inject a statement. Here we go. So you have taken precaution. I say Steven चाहिए, तो Steven का record आ ही जाएगा. Steven का record आ ही जाएगा. सही तरीके से Steven का record we have got. But story doesn't end over here. If I now do the same thing, if I'm trying to do the injection, statement execution injection is what you're trying to do. And if I run this query, nothing. No result. Why? Because now when you're executing the statement, you have created this variable, and when you're creating this person mod person first name में, तो first name क्या था? यही था. ये second union statement that has not been taken into consideration. Correct. And by doing so, you are avoiding any possible problem that you may come across. Let me print the statement over here for your understanding. क्या है आपका username? Let me print over here. Just for your understanding, let me print over here. I'll just say vbind. Let me just print this variable vbind. तो हमें पता चलेगा कि अब इसमें क्या आ गया है. What has been stored inside that particular variable, and while it is executing, what gets executed. So I execute this. Okay, let's see what was there inside that particular variable. इस variable में था person:Steven. Okay, अब जब ये execute करूँगा तो what gets stored inside that? If I execute this statement, ये क्या कह रहा है? Procedure %, okay, and I equal 0. Okay, this is what has been stored. Percent में %. That means this is the variable that has been created. Huh? This is the variable that has now been created. Now मुझे बताइए, where first name like किसी का नाम ऐसा है क्या? No. किसी के भी नाम में ऐसा कोई string है क्या कोट्स में? First name like it has not been injection नहीं हुआ अभी ये. It is checking किसी का नाम ऐसा है क्या? Does anybody name is like this? जैसे ये स्टीवन था ना, किसी के नाम में स्टीवन है क्या? Okay, वैसे किसी के भी फर्स्ट नेम में ये है क्या? I hope you're getting me. ये क्या आया था? पर्सन स्टीवन. अब किसी के नाम में कोड से लेके यहाँ तक है क्या? Nobody's name has that particular data, so no problem at all for you. We have avoided the injection that can really happen inside your code. Okay. Give me 2 minutes. Last example. We'll tell you about. I'll explore and tell you about something more severe. Just give me 2 minutes. 32. Where is that example? How did I miss out?
So 230 example मिस हुआ है.
230 मिस हुआ क्या? 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 मिस हुआ. ओके. ओके, ये सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है. लेट मी शो यू. इसमें क्या ऐसा इंपॉर्टेंट है? Here you have created a procedure. I'm not going to run it from here. इसे मैं बाहर से रन करने वाला हूँ. But let me just copy this and keep it outside then. Watch it, everybody. This is the most critical scenario that I'm going to talk about now. जिसके बारे में लोग सोचते ही नहीं है. Good people don't talk about. Remember this. Here I go. There is one procedure that we have. Let us save this with some name. I'll save this in my PLSQL directory. D: Oracle material नहीं, Oracle working directory, PLSQL, and I call it as risk.sql.
Sir, we are not able to see it. We can only see the name.
दिखाई दे रहा है?
Yes, sir.
SQL. So I have created a file called as risk.sql. It's a procedure. And look at this procedure. I'm saying create or replace change password. Simple sa procedure called as change password. Watch it. Username password hai. And whatever username give, we have a opportunity to fire DDL statements and other all statements through dynamic SQL, which otherwise would not have been possible. मैं यहाँ कह रहा हूँ alter user p name identified by password. So what am I doing? I'm changing the password of the user. Good. गुड थिंग ना, यानी आपको ये कमांड याद रखने की जरूरत नहीं है, जिस यूजर का पासवर्ड चेंज करना है उस यूजर का नाम और नया पासवर्ड दीजिएगा, वो पासवर्ड विल गेट चेंज्ड. So this is a procedure that I have. Okay, so keep in mind that's a procedure that I have. I'll mark the rest of the statements for a moment as comment. I'll mark the rest of the statement as comment. और अभी I'll go start from the command prompt. Watch it very carefully. I am on the command prompt. कनेक्ट नहीं, क्या कहते हैं हम लोग, बहुत दिन हो गए. SQL Plus. Okay. Oh, I don't want to start directly. I want to go to that directory and run it. So I start with CMD and I go to d:/cd wkdir cd plsql and here मेरा risk है dir ris star. We have this file risk.sql. Fine. यहाँ से मैं SQL Plus join करता हूँ and watch what I'm doing. I'm connecting as system and password is Rishi. I've connected. Oh, I want to connect as sysdba, topmost right. So I say connect as sysdba. Watch it. Some administrator, आप DBA हो, sysdba, and username is sys. Watch it. Username is sys. मेरे यहाँ password impetus है उसका. Connected. Fine. Now this person is a sysdba, and this sysdba has created this procedure. sysdba has created this particular procedure. I'll mark the rest of the things also as comment. Okay, this sysdba has created this particular procedure. So procedure क्या है? Create or replace procedure, change password, and that's the procedure. Fine. Here we go. So we'll run this particular script. Okay. Script name is risk.sql. So I'll say @risk. Procedure has been created. Fine, procedure has been created. Now, if I want to change any user's password, I don't have to waste time. To change any user's password, I'm just going to call this particular procedure called as change password. Watch it, change password. So I say change password, and I pass what username I want. So I say ANONYMOUS, anonymous user. मेरे यहाँ तो ऋषि ही पासवर्ड anonymous का, तो ऐसे anonymous, और इस यूजर का मैं पासवर्ड चेंज कर रहा हूँ to lovely. I have changed the password of that particular user. Right? So, oh, ऐसे थोड़ी ना execute करते हैं. How do you execute? Execute, yeah, call. Okay, so I execute this particular procedure. So I say change password, anonymous, yeah, successfully executed. Let's connect to anonymous user now. तो अगर मुझे connect करना है anonymous के लिए, तो what I'll have to do now? ANONYMOUS / if I try and connect by using Rishi, as I used to do earlier, नहीं यार, invalid है, you're no longer connected. Okay, connect as sysdba, I connect as sys, and password is suppose, क्या था password मेरा? Rishi, that is my password. Connected. Okay, अब मुझे anonymous में login करना है, तो ये Rishi नहीं अभी, it is now lovely. Connected, very happy, everything is working fine. Okay, अभी देखिए क्या, who am I right now?
Anonymous.
Anonymous. Should he be having permission to change the password of a sys user?
No.
No. Okay. He cannot even execute this procedure. If he tries to execute that procedure, he cannot even execute that procedure because the procedure पे उसको rights नहीं दिए गए हैं. Okay, you have to grant the execute privilege to that particular user. So what has the system user done? I'll go back to system user once again. I'll go back to system, connect as sys, he says sys, password क्या है मेरा? HRISHI, believe me it's Rishi only, या फिर आप जो बोलोगे change करेंगे हम लोग. He decides to grant that particular anonymous, that दो है आपके पास revoke है, revoke execute on change password 2 नहीं होता है, यहाँ क्या आता है? From anonymous. Okay, revoke has been successful. अब है ना, ये anonymous user tries to execute that particular procedure. ये आप आ गए, and he tries to execute that procedure. कौन सा procedure? Check change password. कहता है must be declared first. ऐसा कोई procedure ही नहीं है. अरे he doesn't have permission, तो वो खुद का नहीं है, तो he knows अरे वो sys का है. तो this time around he knows he sys का है. He's an talented programmer. तो what does he say? He says sys dot change password, sys का change password method. He says okay, hey method, but then क्या कहता है, sys dot paper must be declared. That means he doesn't have permission to access it. Okay, he doesn't have permission to access it. So let's connect as sysdba, sys connect as sysdba, sys password is Rishi, password is Rishi. Huh? I have connected over here. So after I have connected as sysdba as Rishi, what he has done is he has created this particular procedure. This procedure is already created. Suppose at the rate risk procedure already created. Procedure has been created, but he has not granted him the rights. Now he decides to grant him the right. He decides to grant him the rights. Rights have been granted. Now if the rights have been granted, now if you connect as anonymous user whose password has been changed by sys, password has been changed by sys, watch it. Now anonymous user tries to execute that particular procedure. Okay. He tries to execute that particular procedure by saying sys dot so and so. Watch it. Anonymous का पासवर्ड लवली था. He decides to change his own password. चलता है क्या, देखते हैं. खुद का ही पासवर्ड चेंज कर सकते हैं क्या? Successfully. So anonymous user ने क्या किया? खुद का पासवर्ड चेंज कर लिया. अगली बार अगर मुझे लॉगिन करना है, I'll not anymore log in as yes anonymous lovely. तो ये कर लेते दोबारा. Connect as sysdba, sys hri shi. Oh sorry, impetus and rishi, दो पासवर्ड है मेरे. Two values I can connect. Here I go. Connect, then I connect as anonymous with lovely password. कहता है नहीं, lovely is not the password now. क्या password set किया हमने? Rishi password डाले. तो now I try to connect. तो I say HRI, I can connect. Fine. यहाँ तक तो सब कुछ अच्छा लग रहा है. What may happen now? What may happen? The way you have created this particular procedure, you have given the rights of the creator, definer to the user. अब ये जो यूजर है आपका एनोनिमस, ही हैज ऑल द परमिशन ऑफ सिस यूजर. यानी सिस यूजर के पास जो राइट्स है, इसके पास राइट्स आ चुके हैं एज फार एज द कोड दैट हैज बीन रिटन इनसाइड दिस प्रोसीजर गोस. सो व्हाट गोना हैपन नाउ? वॉच इट. आप अभी कनेक्टेड है एज एनोनिमस यूजर एंड ही फायर्स दिस पर्टिकुलर स्टेटमेंट. और वो पासवर्ड किसका चेंज किया जा रहा है? ही डिसाइड्स टू चेंज द पासवर्ड ऑफ सिस. He decides to change the password of sys. Sys का password उसने दे दिया suppose अमन. So उसने sys का password change कर लिया. अरे anonymous user changing the password of system administrator, and that was the mistake of the system administrator because he created that procedure and he granted his privileges to that particular user. So anonymous user is now in a position to change the password of sys user. Oh, sys user का password change कर पा रहा है. Let's try and connect and see. If I say connect sys slash aman, oh sorry, connect as sysdba, sys and password aman, aman connected. aman password से मैं connect हो चुका हूँ. गलत है यार ये. What you have done is totally wrong. Okay, it shouldn't have happened. तो पहले इसके ना privileges revoke कर लेते हैं. कहाँ गया revoke? ये प्रिविलेज निकाल दिया. वॉच इट नाउ व्हाट आई एम गोना डू. प्रिविलेज रिवोक कर लिया. खुद का पासवर्ड पहले चेंज कर लेते हैं. हाउ विल आई चेंज माय ओन पासवर्ड? सिस्टम यूजर खुद का पासवर्ड चेंज कर रहा है सिस एंड इसे बाबा पासवर्ड इज इम्पिटस. ओके, सिस यूजर ने अपना पासवर्ड चेंज कर लिया. फाइन, वी हैव लॉग्ड इन एज सिस्टम यूजर, वी हैव चेंज्ड आवर ओन पासवर्ड. यहाँ तक ठीक है. नाउ आई एम गोना ड्रॉप दिस प्रोसीजर. ड्रॉप कर लिया प्रोसीजर बिकॉज गलत लिखा था. और इस प्रोसीजर में चेंज क्या करेंगे? विल वाइल यू डिफाइन विल से करंट यूजर का जो यूजर इसे रन करेगा उसके जो प्रिविलेजेस है वही उसे रहेंगे. सो आई एम सेइंग गोना से ऑथेंटिकेटेड करंट यूजर. क्या कहा मैंने? ऑथेंटिकेटेड करंट यूजर. इतना ओवरलुक कर लेते हैं हम लोग. वी डोंट इवन बॉदर अबाउट इट. अब मैंने कहा ऑथेंटिकेटेड करंट यूजर. ये स्क्रिप्ट ही चेंज कर लिया. हियर आई एम सेइंग what rights will you have while you're invoking the procedure? आपको जो खुद के राइट्स है वही राइट्स से आप ऑपरेशंस कर सकोगे, not the rights of the definer. When I do not give authentication user, you have the rights of the definer. मैं कहता नहीं बाबा ये करंट यूजर जो एग्जीक्यूट करेगा उसके खुद के राइट्स. ओके अब देखिएगा, अगेन आई क्रिएट दिस प्रोसीजर. कहाँ से किया था हमने? @risk. ये @risk. We create this procedure once again. We create this procedure has been created. Fine. खुद का पासवर्ड चेंज करके देखने में कोई मजा नहीं है. ओह चलो एक बार फिर भी सिस का पासवर्ड, एनोनिमस का पासवर्ड चेंज कर लेते हैं. वो लवली नहीं चाहिए मुझे. मैंने चेंज किया, एग्जीक्यूट सिस डॉट कहने की जरूरत नहीं है. और चेंज किया था क्या हमने? एनीवे आई चेंज इट टू ऋषि. चेंज्ड. ओके, सिस यूजर कैन डू दैट. वॉच इट. ही ऑल्सो ग्रांट्स द परमिशन टू दैट फेलो. जिस किसी को परमिशन ग्रांट कर, ही मे ग्रांट परमिशन टू मोर देन वन पीपल. ग्रांट परमिशन टू चेंज पासवर्ड टू एनोनिमस. ही मे गिव इट टू सिस्टम यूजर ऑल्सो. अब परमिशन तो दे दिया है, बट दिस परमिशन इज ग्रांटेड टू एग्जीक्यूट दिस प्रोसीजर, नॉट द परमिशन टू carry out every instruction that has been written inside that procedure. If you have the rights, only then those instructions will get executed. तो ये permission तो दे दिया उसने. किस बात के लिए? To call this procedure. He is nothing, not talking about the instructions inside this procedure. Do you have rights to carry out those operations? He is not talking about. You could have granted the procedure these rights to system user as well. And system user के पास अगर वो rights होंगे तो वो run कर पाएगा उसे. Watch it now. What will happen to the anonymous? Let's connect as anonymous user now. ये ऋषि है अभी. I connect as anonymous user. I have the rights as an anonymous user, but this time around, if I try and execute this particular procedure and I'm trying to change a password, last time तो हमने भी created havoc. हमने तो है ना sys का password change किया था. इस बार वापस करके देखते हैं sys का password change. Sys and password, I'm gonna keep it as danger. Okay, this is danger. I'm trying to change the password. I have been given the rights to execute this procedure. Fine. But procedure के अंदर जो कोड है वो execute करने के लिए आपके पास किसी का पासवर्ड चेंज करने का प्रिविलेज जो है वो sys यूजर के पास है, not to anonymous user. Last time through that procedure, since you did not say authentication ID as current user, that means it was the definer, यानी जिसने procedure define किया उसके rights were passed on to the caller. Now that's not the case. It says error, insufficient privileges. आपको अगर सर मैंने तो privilege दिया है, हाँ, you have given privilege to call this procedure. That does not mean इस procedure के अंदर जो codes है वो execute करने के पास क्या privileges है. So these are small things that we have to keep in mind while you talk about writing safe code. Okay, we invested a lot of time, we extended our time also, but this was something which is very critical. Something that you all should be sensitized about. You should keep in mind while you develop application, not just in PL/SQL, even Java, because in Java also we create those dynamic SQL statements and we execute them. Python, we do the same. C++, we do the same when you are interacting with the database. And while you are doing so, you have to be watchful as to what you are doing. Use bind variables. Avoid using dynamic SQL statement wherever you can do. अगर करना ही है तो bind variables के साथ यूज कीजिएगा, filters का साथ यूज कीजिएगा. I am leaving one aspect for you to explore, dbms_assert. देखिएगा, they will provide you filters and filters will make sure that अगर कोई inject करना चाह रहा है, modify करना चाह रहा है, that can be immediately identified. And if it doesn't identify, you can create your own filters. So this was a very short, I'm still saying short. I'm not making you an expert who can write the safest kind of code. These are bare minimum things that we can take care of. ऐरा गैरा तो अपने सिस्टम को हैक ना करे. कोई एक्सपर्ट रहेगा तो he will still find out some way out. That's okay. But कोई ऐसा ही एक novice user आ जाता है, 2 दिन का हैकर का कोर्स करके आ जाता है, and that also hacks into a system, and then he बातें करता है कि I broke into a system. At least उसे तो restrict कर सकेंगे ना हम लोग. So make sure start with this approach. एक बार ये इस बारे में सोचना शुरू कर लिया, then when you're developing some real time applications, this constantly to linger in your mind कि मुझे इसके बारे में सोचना है. You will also find newer and better ways to create safe systems. पर अगर इसके बारे में सोचा ही नहीं है, you are a poor developer. You are a poor developer. You are putting your client at risk. It is your responsibility to write safe code. With that, we stop for today. I hope you enjoyed this session. Give me a quick feedback about whether you liked what we discussed today regarding injection, dynamic SQL injections. Mayuresh, did you get to see something new because you had already learned this topic?
सर हे इंजेक्शनचं नव्हतं शिकलो.
नव्हतं काल तुम्ही म्हटलं इसको इंजेक्शन माहिती आहे म्हणून.
मीन्स ते तुम्ही बोलला ना बेसिक माहिती आहे का?
अच्छा, कॉन्सेप्ट माहिती
हॅकिंगचे थोडेसे बघितलं होतं मी.
Okay, but look, and now not for bad reasons, but now next time when you are logging to some websites, you are doing something, try around, play around with these things and check whether those guys have taken this thing into consideration. See, so simple it is. Or वगैरह डाल दो, union वगैरह डाल दो, देखो क्या हो रहा है, and check it out whether those designers have created this. And I'll tell you, 1 out of 10 times you will be in a position to break into the system. That's the kind of vulnerability that is existing. कल अभी कोई आपके Rohan was telling me about कौन सा कोर्स था आपका, साइबर सिक्योरिटी. ओके, तो ये वनरेबिलिटीज है, तो हम लोग अपना कोड सिक्योर रखेंगे ताकि कोई ऐसे हैक्स वगैरह ना कर सके, कोई अटैक ना कर सके अपने सिस्टम में. ओके, दैट्स ऑल फॉर टुडे. थैंक यू ऑल फॉर द सेशन एंड वी कंटिन्यू विद द डिस्कशन. मंडे को हम लोग एक, आई वांट अ क्विक फीडबैक फ्रॉम यू ऑल. आई प्लान टू डिस्कस एम्बेडेड एसक्यूएल, but to discuss embedded SQL, do you want me to take Java as a base, Python as a base, या C++ as a base?
Java.
C++, sir.
C++, sir.
We could take any Java, Python, C++. Because these are 3 languages that you all know. तीनों में से बताइए मुझे. Java के तो we have hundreds of examples ready. JDBC से हमने किया हुआ है. तो Java कहोगे तो मुझे कोई कोड भी लिखना नहीं है. I'll just open up JDBC का कोड and I will show you. उसी में 2-4 statements add करके we can run it. हाँ, C++ I will write a code because long time that I have not worked with the newer compilers, so I'll write that code. Python code is ready. I can just show you. But if it's C++, you need to tell me in advance. Okay. So how many for C++? Just click on yes. Seven. Okay. How many for Java? Click on yes. ये क्लियर कर लेते पहले. ये क्लियर कैसे करेंगे? ये ऑटोमेटिक क्लियर होगा. 1 मिनट होल्ड करो. How many for Java? Click on yes now. Okay. How many for Python? Click on yes. You can embed through any language. मैं एक ही लेने वाला हूँ, मल्टीपल नहीं लेंगे. पाइथन के कोर्स में पाइथन में हमने डेटाबेस के साथ कनेक्ट किया था. जावा में जावा के साथ कनेक्ट करेंगे. C++ में वी हैव नॉट डन दैट. लेट्स डू C++ बिकॉज दैट्स समथिंग वी फील अरे उससे ये पॉसिबल नहीं है. जावा, पाइथन, .NET इसी से डेटाबेस कनेक्टिविटी कर सकते हैं. वेरियन वी कैन वेरी इजीली कनेक्ट थ्रू दीस आल्सो. सो आई विल आल्सो इंट्रोड्यूस यू समथिंग कॉल्ड CP compilers and we'll explore it. But I have to test it on new version. So give me some time to test it out because the last time when I checked was long time back. एक बार run करके देखता हूँ and then we'll take it up. So be ready for embedded SQL next time. That's all for today. Thank you all. Bye-bye. Good day.